Well, let's speak now to Mohammed Shafiq, who's director of the Ramadan Foundation, a Muslim youth organisation, joins us from our Manchester studio. Very good evening to you. What do you make of the whole debate and indeed the row at a top level of government?
Well, I think what it demonstrates to you that this was a Conservative Prime Minister, 21 days before an election, pandering to his far right and trying to score cheap political points for elections. And it was a political speech delivered by a politician who's desperate to stop the ruts that his party is going to actually suffer at this election.
So specifically, what was wrong with what he said?
Well, it was the terminology that was used, the inflammatory language about mass immigration. The vast majority of immigrants who come in this country from abroad work hard. They work very long hours. They contribute to this society. They're not a burden of society.
He wasn't disputing that, though. What specifically, what is the, apart from, as you say, the term mass immigration, what else in there do you object to?
We object to the notion that immigrants are not integrating into society. Integration is a two-way street. The Prime Minister did not refer at all what the responsibilities of the indigenous white population. When, for example, ethnic minority families are moving into particular parts here in the north of England, white families are leaving those areas. So integration is a two-way street. The Prime Minister is right that people who come to this country must learn English. I think that's absolutely essential, and we agree with him. But this notional idea that we're going to go back to an age where there was less immigration, we live in a globalised world, and we've got to work together, live together in peace and tolerance.
But he talked about disjointed communities, partly because of too many people not being able to speak English, for example. I mean, it sounds that you're actually agreeing with that.
Well, I think there are an element of truth in what the Prime Minister was saying, where communities sometimes drift apart. And they drift apart because we have politicians like David Cameron using inflammatory language to try to divide people. It should be up to politicians at a senior level within government to bring communities together.
But so far,
I think sadly the Prime Minister and any Conservative hasn't actually done that.
I mean, I've asked for specifics, and so far what you seem to be saying is the term mass immigration you clearly don't like, but I'm not clear what else in there specifically you believe was wrong, because you have agreed with one of the fundamental points he was making.
Well, I've said to you not just the element of the language that was used, the fact that he was playing to the gallery 21 days before an election, the issue of integration, this constant obsession in labelling ethnic minorities, the responsibilities of ethnic minorities, and looking at the responsibilities of wider society. I want a rational debate about immigration.
No, but
rational debate, but you can't have a rational debate that's based on slogans.
So we almost lost the line there, and hopefully we'll stay with it. But again, you are talking generally about playing to the gallery. I mean, that's a political point that others are making, of course. But I will ask you again, specifically, I presume you've either heard the speech or read the text.
I have, yeah.
Specifically, what is there in there that he's actually said that is wrong? Other than using a term like mass immigration?
Well, I've given you 5 reasons why I object to the speech. I can give you another 5 if you want. But there is, for example, the impact on communities. The fact, if you look at the NHS is built on the backbone of ethnic minority contribution in this country. If you look at the issue of problems with housing, some of your contributors in your piece before you came to me talked about the impact on housing. We have 250,000 derelict houses in this country. What David Cameron should be doing is putting the resources into refurbish those houses and make it livable for all communities. During economic recessions, the first people that usually get hit and get labelled or get demonised are minority communities and immigrants. And I think that sadly at the moment in time, that's no different.
OK, Mohammed Shafiq, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.